Welcome to Talk Around Riyadh, the Wheel of Time showcast. I am your host, Joe Perry, here with my co-host, Jen Isgro, Tom Kokoza, and special guest co-host, Brendan Johnston. Jen, it's less than 24 hours since we talked about episode 1. How are you feeling? Are you excited, more excited, less excited, or neutral about
I'm more
episode 2?
excited.
Okay.
I think I'm more excited with each episode that happens. We have more to talk about, more to think about. It's the afternoon, so I'm full of energy and I'm ready to go.
Sounds like it. How about you, Tom?
I don't know if I'm full of energy, but I am very excited to talk about episode 2. I think now that we're in it, we've gotten through the episode 1. The new season is here. Now we're into the meat and potatoes of the season. I'm excited to see what we all think.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like you're right. Like there was a lot of setup, obviously, or catch up and setup that happened in episode 1, and I feel like now we're like the season's starting to unfold with what's going to be happening or what the plans are. How are you feeling about this, Brendan? You excited?
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever been full of energy at 3 p.m. on a Friday. Good for you, Jen. But yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about the episode.
When are you most full of energy, Brendan?
That's a tough one.
5 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I'm not very full of energy tonight because I was up very late last night talking to you guys, and I was having CPAP machine issues, so I did not sleep well.
Oh man, that sucks.
Sorry, man.
But it's fine. I've had a lot of caffeine. I'll make it.
All right. All right. So just to remind everyone. Just to remind everyone, we are spoiler free for the first part of the episode with Brendan here because Brendan has not read the books, so we will not be talking about any book spoilers. And then once Brendan leaves, we will talk a little bit of book spoilers. So I was going to hand it over to Jen to do a recap, but
I'm here.
There we go.
I'm here. All right. Here we go. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Good bump.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. You're crushing ants over there, Jen.
I am so full of energy, guys. Let's go.
Is that what? Oh, that's a new meeting for that now.
Yeah, smashing ants.
That's a new,
So I've been smashing ants all week. I can't believe the word bump just came out of my mouth. Because it's like the last thing I know about in my.
That's what Jen went off camera for. She had to.
No, I have bad allergies.
Her terrible cocaine addiction.
That's the reason my nose is terrible. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I wrote good evening, but good afternoon, everyone.
Well, it's really what people could be listening to this any time of the day, Jen. So don't pigeonhole yourself into a time of day.
Good evening and good night.
You might be alienating some of our listeners.
Okay. Good day, everyone. And welcome to the recap of episode 302, A Question of Crimson, written by Catherine B. McKenna, directed by Kieran Donnelly. A gorgeous pregnant young queen takes her throne for the first time, 20 years in the past. She's accompanied by her Red Aja advisor, although everyone here is in red, so it's kind of hard to tell. This is Queen Morghese Trakand and Elida Sedai. Morghese also has 2 young sons whom she dotes on. A few members of other houses stand before her, and they are not overjoyed that she has won their succession war. They begrudgingly swear their houses to her, but in a shocking twist straight out of Game of Thrones, Morghese sacrifices all the top members of their houses by throat slit as their families look on.
Wait a second.
Well,
let her finish.
Has them sacrificed. Murders by throat slit as their families look on. Long live the queen, I guess. Back in the present, Elaine tries to listen to Varen and Leane's whispered conversation and gets caught. Amid much fanfare, Elaine's mother has arrived in Tar-Valon. Morghese, on the arm of her consort Gabriel, processes to the hall of the tower, where the gathered sitters in the Amerlin await her. Her sons Galad and Gawain enter first, and Gabriel, although Leane momentarily forgets his name. Elida Sedai is here as well, and there is much whispered hubbub about her arrival. Morghese is pissed off. She knows Elaine had been kidnapped, but Swan pulls rank on her, Since Morghese wears an Aes Sedai ring, Swan is still above her in the tower. Aviendha is leading her little crew on their journey to the Aiel Waste. She mocks them for walking so slow and says they have to camp for the night. Outside the two rivers, a way gate opens, and Loial, Perrin, Bane, and Shiad emerge. Loial casually puts a key shaped like a leaf back into the wall to close it up, and this seems like the most calm journey anyone's ever taken. Loial takes the key with him when they leave. Perrin sees some tracks that have already emerged and can smell that it was a man and a woman. Loial isn't feeling great being outside of his steading. The Ogier call it the longing. Elaine happily greets her brothers and Gabriel. They tell her Morghese is very angry about her having gone missing, and the boys should have just come with her to begin warder training from the beginning. Galad is pretty sure they don't need training, but Elaine says they can just start now. She doesn't realize why they've come. Some yellow Aja are working on Matt's memories problem, including Rima. They saved her! Nice work, everyone. Nynaeve speaks to Rima, who tells her they don't know what they can do for him. I feel Nynaeve is not going to accept that. Swan tries to smooth over the relationship between Andor and the tower as she brings Morghese to Elaine's quarters. Morghese thinks everyone here is hiding something, but Elaine won't tell. That's fine, because Elaine will be leaving with her tomorrow with her honorary ring. Elaine wants to stay, but Morghese says her duty is to Andor and she needs to be kept safe. Lan and Rand are training with swords. Joe, don't pass out. Rand is distracted, but they continue as Moiraine and Egwene watch. Egwene has fresh bruises on her neck that Moiraine thought she had healed already. They are not from Rand, and Egwene will not help her control him. Aviendha is disgusted that Rand is using a sword. That's not the Aiel way. She tells them some of the Karakarn prophecies, which are different from the others. By the way, she still hates Rand. Perrin and crew arrive in the Two Rivers. They look upon it, and Loial tells them about the great city and army of Manetheren. Perrin says they're farmers and shepherds now, but Bane doesn't believe him. Everyone stops to stare at them. Perrin wanders toward the forge and has a Layla murder flashback, but is broken from his reverie by a few white cloaks riding horses past them. Marin Alvier, Egwene's mother, embraces him. She tells him it's not safe for him here, and she'll hide them in the attic of the inn with the others. It's Solana and Maxim. They've been through. Morghese tries to get the truth from Elida, but even the Reds haven't told her what happened. Elida admits she underestimated Swan's support once in the past. They discuss the Dark Friend who took Elaine. In another hallway, Leane, Verin, and Swan talk about how Elida makes trouble, but she'll only be here a few days. Verin brings in Min, who's been posing as a servant. Min has seen visions of dead Aes Sedai and warders, and it's not from the past. Matt has been showing his Horn of Valir to a novice, Clara. One of her novice friends bursts in and tells her the Andoran princes are fighting, and to get down there, they have their shirts off. Move your ass, Clara. Matt is not impressed, but maybe it's because every single person with a pulse is standing around cheering. Even Nynaeve can't help being interested, although she thinks they're entitled bastards. Nynaeve and Elaine are summoned to Swan's chambers. Swan's worried about the Black Aja, and they are the only two women she can trust. She wants the girls to hunt them down for her. Elaine is going through the arches tonight. Then they can start their search. After they leave, Nynaeve agrees that someone has to find the Andrin. But Elaine thinks that Swan did this so she wouldn't go home, which she still plans to do. Marin tells everyone that Trollocs started attacking again a while back, starting with taking animals, but then people. The White Cloaks arrived soon after that, but said they are here for Perrin, a dark friend who killed Jeffrey Bornhold. His family had to be hidden. Marin wants to get them all out, but Perrin is not fucking leaving. Egwene is having her Rena dreams again and getting strangled. While she tosses and turns, we see Rand's dream, where this son of a bitch is with Lanfear. Lanfear tells him there are still dark friends everywhere, even if he thinks he's hiding from them. She tries to get him to sleep with her by putting Egwene down, and oh yeah, Lanfear's the one torturing her in her dreams every night. Stand by for my rant on this. Egwene suddenly disappears from her Rena dream and appears in the desert with an older Aiel maiden who says she doesn't belong there, before she suddenly awakens to a comforting Rand. Egwene tells him what she saw. Matt is in his room between the two princes' rooms and has to listen to the two of them banging novices, to the novices' great pleasure. Min shows up and laughs at the unbearably loud noise. Matt's not happy to see her, but she apologizes and tells him Swan wants to see him and the horn. Elaine can't find her mother, but she does find the rose crown of Andor, which she tries on. Gabriel interrupts, and they have a drink together. They again mention how irritating Galad is. Elaine doesn't want to leave, but Gabriel admits the people of Andor and the military are turning against Morghese since she dismissed the Captain General. Swan knows all about how Mat blew the horn in Fawn. As long as he lives, the horn will only work for him, so he better not be telling anyone that he has the horn or that he blew it. Of course, she knows he already has, so he gives the horn to Swan to keep safe. She wonders if Mat will be a hero when he is truly needed. Elaine tells Morghese she is not going home. Morghese reminds her of the last Daughter-Heir, Tigraine, who forged her own path and was never seen or heard from again, but Elaine tells her mother that she is going to root out the shadow and become the first Aes Sedai queen. Moraine wants to know why Rand is training with Lan and not practicing channeling, but she just can't understand how hard it is for him to avoid it. Swan and the sitters say goodbye to Morghese in the hall. The princes are staying to complete their warder training, and mic drop, Elida is staying too. Morghese thinks there could be no better Aes Sedai for the tower right now than the woman who almost bested Swan to the Amerlin seat. Also, if anything happens to Elaine, the Andoran army will be at the tower gates. Joy all around as Morghese leaves. The waste crew has made it! Aviendha starts yelling about someone having told they were coming, as a bunch of other Aiel appear and hold weapons toward them. The Aiel Egwene saw in her dream approaches, but not dressed as a maiden. She recites a prophecy about the Karakarn's arrival over the spine of the world. Rand is ready to rock and roll.
And good use of reverie.
Thank you.
Yeah. Excellent
I did
recap.
not fucking
Jen.
leaving. I did not fucking
Yeah, that
leaving
was good.
this.
So, cold open. Picture it.
I'm sorry. Before we get started, I just want to say, A Question of Crimson, 10 out of 10 title. Fantastic.
Oh, it's a chapter title from the book. All the episode titles are chapter titles from the books. Not necessarily related a lot of times because we got tricked in the first season thinking that this stuff that happens in this chapter of the book's going to happen in this episode.
Okay.
Not the case.
But yeah, it's a very great title for this episode.
Yes. Jen, you knew where I was going with this one. Cold open, picture it, Andor, 20 years ago. Morghese has 2 sons and is pregnant, which I think we can all figure out later on that those 2 sons are Elaine's 2 brothers and that she's pregnant with Elaine.
Right.
There's apparently has been the previous queen of Andor has died. There's been a succession war and Morghese has come out on top. She seems to be taking the high ground by allowing her enemies to swear to her, only to then murder them. And I have a question because I didn't get a chance to rewind this because the young girl goes like, brother, was the brother the one who actually stabbed her or was he just standing there like watching it happen?
No, the brother kills her.
It was
her brother kills her?
Yeah.
Yes.
She goes brother before she gets stabbed, but I wasn't sure if he was the one who stabbed her. I thought she was just
calling his name out. Wait, so the members of each family killed their other member of their family?
Yeah.
I don't think all of them.
Really?
Yeah, I think pretty much.
Oh, I thought that was like her.
Those are the family members. Yes, the families. Yeah, the families are forgiven their crimes, but there'll be no rivals for Elaine.
Oh, I totally missed.
So I think all the women, right? The women were killed, like the
anybody else can be queen. Yeah,
the high seats of the houses.
That at all. I definitely didn't get that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, definitely. Like you called it out, Jen, with your, it's like a Game of Thrones type of scene here.
Yeah, I just thought she had people come up behind them and kill them. I didn't realize
No.
Yeah, they were all this. They were all family members from those houses.
Watching the cold open, I was imagining a hypothetical audience member who has avoided this show because they felt burned by Game of Thrones. And then someone finally talked them into it. And for whatever reason, they started with season 3, episode 2. And how upset they would have been.
Yes.
Right.
This was shocking.
This was shocking. This was very shocking to see that happen in the show.
Yeah.
So I guess we learn what kind of queen Morghese is, Elaine's mother. And this is where
effective one.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, this is we meet her Aes Sedai advisor, Elida, although we don't know who that is at the time, but we learn who it is in a few minutes later into the episode.
Yeah. Also, just a very nice way to show agelessness. Like 20 years ago, she looked like she looks right now. Like,
Yes.
I think she looks a little different.
Well, her hair, she changed her hair, but otherwise she
Yeah.
looks pretty much the
Do you
same.
think?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, neither of them
Yeah.
look that much different, to be honest with you. But
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, I think Olivia. They de-age Olivia Williams well in the
Yeah.
opening scene.
yeah, they do DH her a bit. So, yeah. So that was definitely an interesting cold open. So let's. I mean, was it as good as the first episode cold open? Probably not, right? But still a good cold open, good strong cold open for the season.
Yeah, it's odd because like this show is violent. You know, people get killed all over the place here, and obviously the episode before was incredibly bloody. But this is like a level of just like it's a level of murder that you don't normally see on this show, I guess.
From the good guys?
Yeah. Well, really, from
Yeah,
just yeah. It's.
Well,
Is she a good guy? I don't know.
Well, we were just talking
I mean,
yesterday about
She's the mother of a good guy, at least.
Mother,
I
yeah.
would think she is.
Well, so was Darth Vader. Well, not mother, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we were just talking yesterday about Moraine and how she seems like she's, potentially walking that fine line between good and evil. So, maybe Morghese is a bit like that too. A bit of a change from the books, I will say that.
Yeah.
So this leads up to the episode proper. Right. I think we start off with Elaine and she's doing some cleaning and she hears Varen and Alana like whispering in the corner. And then she learns, they basically approach her and say like, well, your mother's here.
Varen, Lyanna, is that what you said?
Oh,
Or
I'm sorry.
Alana?
What did I say?
I thought you
You
said
said
Alana.
Alana.
Oh, I did. Sorry. Varen and Lyanna. Then they approach her and are like, oh, that sounds like your mother's music. Her entrance theme song.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wrestling.
Mhm.
Do you know why your
No,
mother's
it's
here?
Morghese.
Yeah.
This is sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, this scene where she's overhearing Liane and Varen. This is jumping ahead a lot, but it's not to actually discuss what happens later on in the episode. But at later on, she's talking about how she overheard them talking, and for some reason, as she's saying this to Nynaeve, two other Aes Sedai who look remarkably like Liane and Varen.
It is
step
them.
into the what
It is them, isn't it?
later on.
Yeah.
No,
I think
it's not.
so. Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Like they have the same hair, but I'm pretty sure they're different people.
I think it's them because she looks down the hall and then she like whispers and they're like looking as they come. I don't know. I thought it
No,
was them.
Brendan, you're talking about a later scene with
Yeah.
right?
Later scene, yeah.
Right.
With
When
Nynaeve.
Yeah.
after Swan tells Nynaeve and Elaine to hunt the Black Aja, they're coming out, and then Elaine tells Nynaeve like, "Oh, I
She's
heard
leaving,
Leane
yeah.
and Varen arguing," but I'm pretty sure they come up like behind her down like a side hall. I think it is them.
I don't think
well,
that's
okay.
them. Yeah, I don't think
Well,
that was
I went back a couple times. I'm pretty sure it's
It's
it's at least different actors.
It's their
and
standards,
therefore
probably. Right?
different
Maybe.
characters.
I don't know.
Because they are big enough characters that they wouldn't just be in the background.
Yeah, I didn't even think those were Aes Sedai. I thought those were like novices or accepted that they.
I
said.
don't know. Everyone in the
Like,
chat is agreeing with me, so now we're gonna have to go back and
Well, now
somebody's gonna have to
people,
go back
Kate-
and look.
Kate,
and let us
let's
know.
Why are
Yeah.
those the only two people in any hallway? That's
That
weird.
raises-
She
well,
looks
that
down the
raises
hall and then
so
she
much many
says
more
it.
questions.
I've been
Oh, I
talking
saw
about this
them.
for seasons, about that.
No, she saw them and then she said it.
I think Kate's going to go check right now. Let's see.
Okay.
We'll find out.
I really don't think it's them, but
Yeah,
I
I
didn't.
don't care. Yeah, if it's not them, it's not them. I just
I don't
assumed it was them
remember
because she
them.
looks at them and then says it. So I thought it was them.
I love
Anyway.
how like they're right. There's like the procession up, and it's just they're just sitting outside the hall, and Swan's just sitting in there, just kind of like waiting,
making her
just
wait.
making her wait,
Yeah.
his wait. I love that.
Awesome.
it is. It was a kind of light comic touch that I feel like again like there's a slight tonal shift perhaps than the show normally does. I think that was like like a comedy of manners bit
Yeah.
where like she's waiting. She's and like she can tell like, okay, this is when she's gonna be impatient. Okay, do it now.
Yes. Wait, not yet. Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay, let her in now. Yeah, so we get like the procession of all our new characters, Elaine's family. We got Galad, we get Gawain, the first prince of the sword, Lord Gabriel, the prince consort, and then Elida, the aforementioned Elida, who is a red Aja. Oh, look at that red. Did you guys notice her eyeing the hall and noticing like the cracks in one of the columns?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
didn't.
caught that. She knows, I mean, this comes up later on. Like, she doesn't know what happened, but she has some suspicions that something did happen.
Right.
So she must have heard that something, like beforehand, that something happened, but she just doesn't know what it was. So I like that little, her eyeing the column and being like, oh, look at that. Let's file that away for later. And Morghese is like, why is Morghese there? She's pissed off because Elaine was kidnapped and wants to see her. And then we learn about Morghese has an Aes Sedai ring. And Swan kind of like dresses her down, like, you know, while you wear that ring in this hall, like you're, you know, show respect, the proper respect, which is interesting because it's very contrasting to the Elaine and Swan scene. When Elaine just kind of disrespects her.
The Egwene and Swan.
Egwene. I'm sorry, I'm off. The Egwene and Swan scene from the first episode where she just kind of disrespects Swan and Swan just takes it.
Yeah, she lets her.
Yeah. Maybe she did just let her. She was just like, all right, let her go because I don't really care
right.
or
maybe it
Also-
matters, but maybe it's like you know, the weave wills what it wills. You know.
Yeah.
Also,
that
Swan's
right.
bad at her job.
So TB80 just
That's
posted a screenshot in chat of Elaine, and that's definitely not Leane or Varen.
Yeah, but is it supposed to be?
No.
No way.
Like she's
Why?
got the same
It's
hairstyle.
supposed-
She had the same hairstyle and outfit.
That's
well,
true.
well,
Almost.
that's the reason I brought it up because like for a second I
She's
thought it
about
was like
7 inches
weird,
shorter.
Wait,
Like it's some weird. It seemed almost like some weird flashback that only we were supposed to be seeing.
No,
Like she was talking about seeing Leane and Varen, and so we saw them. Like
No, I think it's
like
just
as
another
if we forgot what they looked like. I don't know. It's such a weird little thing.
Kate's saying the next
I
person.
wish I
looks
hadn't
like
brought
that.
up because now we're going to be on it. For
no, you know what? I had that in my recap, and I was like, just take that sentence out. It doesn't matter. Like and then I'm like, oh, it does matter.
I don't know how anyone would confuse that for Jennifer Chiang Garcia.
Well, it's the still shot. You know, maybe it's in the background.
She's
So,
like
In
she's like a
motion- in
foot
motion,
shorter
it
than
looks
her.
Maybe she's just kneeling as the still happens, and she's actually very tall.
Yeah,
and then they look
she's
alike.
crouching down.
in motion. It looks more like them.
okay.
Slowing it down and freezing it, which I did. It made it clear that to me that it wasn't. But and in the screenshot, it's clear that it's not. But when
Yeah.
you're actually watching it, it looks just like. Especially
Yeah.
since you just said Leane and Varen.
Right? Yeah.
So we get this whole scene in the hall, and then like we get another scene right after this of like Elaine meeting with her family. I think except her mom because I think Swan was with Morghese. We get a little bit of interaction with her brothers and Lord Gabriel. Apparently Galad's irritating, which is mentioned a few times in the episode, though I
Yes.
never see him do anything irritating necessarily, but
He's just too handsome.
is that what it is?
He's just too
Oh, well,
handsome,
he
and therefore
says-
everything's a little obnoxious.
I don't think we need
You know what that's like, Tom.
training.
Yeah, I mean, I live with it every day, but
Oh, what are these warders control? Like, what can they show us or something?
Yeah,
like
I don't
that?
think they can show us anything.
I
And then
mean,
he tells Elaine, like, you're too naive. You don't know anything.
yeah,
about
he's a
the
little like he's a little, but he's a
You
prince.
just said you're too naive.
He's
We're
not a
at
prince,
Ireland.
though. You're too
right.
naive.
Well, he's a lord. Yeah,
like Gawain has no personality at all. And
No,
Galad does.
and he's
so
got
far.
a terrible haircut too. He's got
Yeah,
the
you
Barthanas,
just-
like a new version of the Barthanas haircut.
Is like
It's-
a person existing.
Very
He- I
foppish.
don't
it's
feel
a
like-
little floppier. It's a little floppier, but yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's not as
For
flat. He's got a
Right.
little volume and bounce to his hair.
When the casting was announced for Lord Gabriel, I made a snarky comment on either Blue Sky or Discord about how I don't care if Lord Gabriel is the best fictional character this side of Falstaff. I'm never going to refer to him as anything other than Lord Gerbil.
That's right, you did.
And much to my surprise, Lord Gabriel is a comic bon vivant who drinks a lot and is friends with the heir.
The Daughter-Heir.
good
Is
for me.
a little Falstaffian, yeah.
And now I will call him by his proper name. So
Falstaff.
I proved myself wrong.
All right. Brendan's been converted, everybody.
Okay.
So we learned a little bit like that the boys were supposed to be there to train as warders, but Morghese didn't want to send, I guess, all of her kids to the tower because I don't know, she didn't want to put all her eggs in one basket. Who knows? But we do learn something really important, that Morghese wants Elaine to come back home to Andor, and that she knows Swan is hiding something. Which we all know that.
But that's like saying she knows the grass is green.
Yeah.
Like that's the Aes Sedai's deal.
We all know Swan's hiding a lot of things. Obviously Elaine wants to stay and become Aes Sedai. She'd be the first queen of Andor to be full Aes Sedai. An argument ensues, which later comes to a head. I don't know if you want to jump to that part or go a little bit more chronologically. Any thoughts?
Let's go chronologically because there's more before that.
All right. Well, I'm doing all the White Tower stuff. We're going to jump, right? This is all White Tower stuff. I'm not going to jump to the waste and whatever. We'll do
right.
those separately.
Yeah.
Jen, you mentioned it. Rima is back, and I didn't recognize her at first with the new haircut. But yeah, there was all those questions about the end of season 2, whether she was dead, whether she got taken back. But no, apparently she was freed and rescued. And this is one of those things that happens in between seasons that they just were like, no, this happened. It's okay.
Right. She's doing
I'll be on the
pretty
boat
good.
with them.
She's, doing well. She's not in horrific mourning like some other people who lost their warder.
Well, she lost her
Well,
water
it's been a
over a
month.
month ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. She should be over it by now.
No, but Alana just lost her water like yesterday.
Okay.
Also, Alana seems like okay.
She's also got another
Relatively.
warder, so that might help.
That's true.
That could help. Maybe we'll learn more
I don't
about
know.
that.
Yeah.
Like having another warder helps you cope with the loss of a warder.
Maybe.
We'll get to that in a minute, though.
Okay.
But apparently, like the Yellows are trying to do some healing on Matt to try to figure out, I guess, what's wrong with him or whether they can hear him. And then Rima basically says something to the effect of almost nothing can be that Aes Sedai can do for afflictions of the mind. So it's not looking good for Matt.
I really hope that Nynaeve's season 3 arc is inventing fantasy psychology. It's not gonna be, but
She's the
I'd like to see it.
mother of modern
Right.
psychology.
Awesome.
Not looking good for Matt.
What is it
Um,
ever?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was looking good in the beginning.
That's true.
It was looking good for him in a couple of parts of this episode.
Oh, he was
Yeah.
for like a second, and then it looked bad again.
Second
He
here.
was doing well till the princes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They screwed it up for him.
Right. Elida's been snooping around and reporting back to Morghese in the White Tower. There's that mention you said, Jen, of the Dark Friend was in the tower. Morghese says that because Swan
Yeah.
told her a Dark Friend. And Morghese, of course, being the smart, clever person that she is like, well, if she told me there was a Dark Friend, it must be much worse than that because there's no
Yeah.
way she would tell me the whole truth. Which is correct.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like people being intelligent, and somebody should realize
Let me write that
as
down.
Brendan does, what the Aes Sedai do.
Wait, let me dictate this. Hold on a second. Tom likes people who are intelligent. All right. Got it. I got it. Let's move on.
Okay.
Min's posing as a servant. They're apparently using her to try to like read other Aes Sedai, I guess, to determine if they're Black Aja. And she says, well, I haven't found any. I just saw a bunch of dead, like, sisters who look like they're going to die and warders who look like they're going to die. There's a battle. And they're all like, well, that just happened already. And they're like, no, my shit sees the future. So are we getting another battle in the White Tower?
I don't know.
Oh,
Min's never 100% right. So probably not.
Yeah,
So you
it's
think
like-
it's just like twisting her visions?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
like
hey, the last battle is coming. Probably a lot of these people are gonna die.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, they're going to die in 3 years.
Well,
There's
the way
gonna
this
be
show
fun.
goes in a decade.
Yeah, next season,
25
3 years.
years.
Next season, 3 years. Matt is using the Horn of Valir to get laid, apparently.
Only not even.
Only not even. That's right.
Tried.
He tried. I love
Is that
the
girl
line.
gonna really blow the horn though, or I hope not.
I imagine nothing would happen, though. I mean, because we learned a little bit about
Oh,
the
that's
horn
right,
in
that's
in
right.
Yeah,
in
we
a
only
minute-
work for
I
him.
forgot.
in a minute. But I love the line where like there's someone knocking at the door calling for the novice Clara, and he's like, "Did you invite a friend?" He gets all like, "Oh man, that was great." And then I'm sorry, Matt, but no, she didn't invite a friend. The princes are here, and we get the scene that we saw. We talked about the scene last week, right? This is one of the scenes they released where the Galad and Gawain are sparring in the water training grounds.
Our favorite room of the tower.
Our favorite room of the tower. Didn't see thirsty water there, even with the
No, there
full,
wasn't anybody else there.
even with the full edit. Of the
Almost
scene.
almost everyone else there was a woman.
Yeah.
Yes, except for Matt, I think maybe. Oh, there might have been like a royal guard or two. I feel like I can't remember.
Yeah.
So we get the sexy sparring scene. Min and Nynaeve are into it. Elaine seems to be concerned though about like I guess the real reason they're there, or she's talking about like plotting and conspiring.
Mhm.
But I don't know. We don't really get that much into Galad and Gawain to know if there's anything going on there.
Yeah, she says that they plot a lot, but like it looks like their plot is to bang novices.
Yeah. Let's just take our shirts off and fight, and then we can have loud sex tonight with whoever we want. That's the plot.
Success.
I don't think Min was into it. I feel like Min stopped for a second. She took a swig from her flask, and then she left.
No,
So it's
she
like
she didn't
she
leave.
took note of it. Yes, she did. Well, she walked away. I didn't see her there again.
No, I think she went to get a better look because she saw it and she was like, "Ooh, I want to go check this out." That's the
I don't
look
know.
I got. That's the impression I got from her look.
I thought she was just like, whatever, and kept walking.
No, she seemed into it.
I feel your look.
Yeah, like Nynaeve said, just about everyone's into this, right?
Mhm.
This
Well,
sort of thing.
yeah.
We get a scene after that with the Amerlin meeting with Elaine and Nynaeve. Swan is concerned that there are still Black Aja in the tower, and that the only people that she can trust, not trust, but the only people she's certain that aren't Black Aja are Elaine and Nynaeve. So she wants them to hunt the Black Aja. She says, Elaine, we're going to put you through your accepted test tonight or tomorrow. I can't remember now. I think
Tonight.
it's tonight. Varen's going to then provide you with all the information on the sisters who left the tower, who escaped. They're like, okay, sure. And then we have the scene where you guys think Varen and Alana,
Doppelgangers.
Varen and Lyanna, doppelgangers, show up. But Elaine tells Nynaeve that she's leaving because her mom wants her to leave, and Nynaeve's pretty pissed at her.
You royals all the same.
She almost said something really mean, and she stopped herself. So I'm proud of Nynaeve. She's like, I should never have. And then she walked away. I was like, good job. Don't say it, Nynaeve. You can't take it back once it comes out.
I had forgotten about Nynaeve's class resentment.
That's right.
Well, that Elaine makes that quip, right? When she's
Yeah.
right, Elaine says like entitled
Yeah.
bastards or whatever, and Elaine says that's funny coming from someone who's sleeping with an actual king.
Nynaeve's reaction is great.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's entitled. I mean, Land literally has no kingdom, but whatever. And its entire family was murdered and killed by Trollocs and Shadowspawn. But sure, it's the same thing, Elaine. It's the same exact thing. We get a scene with Elaine and Gabriel, the one that you're talking about, Brendan, right? They share a drink together. Apparently, it's like their favorite thing to do. I guess that's where Elaine got her love of drinking from Gabriel.
But that sounds like, I mean, maybe. I guess, like,
Sounds like an enabler.
yeah.
And there's more hating on Galad. Again, I feel like there's a little bit much. I feel like the show wants you to hate Galad more than actually show you that Galad's a pain in the ass or whatever, irritating.
He only talks in one scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, Galad has like 3 minutes of screen time.
Yeah.
They got to do a little tell not show if they want to move it along.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they could have had him do something really jerky. I mean, he'd said a couple of things that were like a little annoying,
Yeah.
but
A little annoying. And then he prances and preens for the crowd, and then he has sex, and that's pretty much it.
yeah, it's a pretty good life. But we do learn that there's trouble a-brewing back in Andor, that Morghese is losing the people and the military, and that she recently dismissed the Captain General Brine. Now I'm gonna have a little problem with this pronunciation as well.
Yeah.
Brine.
Well, I mean,
I'm pretty sure it's clearly stated in the glossary, the pronunciation of this name, right?
yeah, but it's
It
not like
doesn't matter.
Bryne shouldn't be Brine.
I feel like when I first read the books, I called him Brine, but then I learned that it was not Brine, it was Bryn. So
Yeah. It's I don't know. Like, it's not like it means something, right?
No,
it's not
it
like it's a
doesn't.
reference to something that they're mispronouncing or whatever.
no.
Just the name of a guy who's been dismissed.
Yeah. Then we get another scene with Elaine and Morghese, where basically she tells her mom, she stands up to her mother and says, like, I'm not going back to Andor. Her mom's like, oh, the last Daughter-Heir to set out on her own disappeared.
But
But-
he got her the throne.
Which actually got Morghese the throne, so I don't know what she's so upset about. But Elaine says my path will eventually lead back to Andor. When it does, like, let me do my thing. And Morghese has like one of those proud mama moments, and gives in to Elaine. So Elaine's staying.
Hooray!
Yay.
What do we got next? We got Matt. Matt back in his room with loud humping noises coming from the other rooms near him. I like how he can tell distinguish between Galad and
Which one is
Gowan.
which? Yeah.
Yes. Min shows up and apologizes to him, says the Armelin wants you to see you and bring the horn. I like when she mentions the horn, he says, like, you heard about that?
Oh,
Yeah.
you've heard. Yeah.
As if he
Yeah.
wasn't just like we had this whole conversation last episode about how public he was about
Yeah.
it. So
Right.
the fact
Well,
that he was surprised.
It's great. I didn't think anyone would tell anyone.
Yeah.
And then Swan proceeds to manipulate him and get the horn from him.
Yeah.
To keep it from safekeeping. We learn that apparently, since Matt blew the horn, it is linked to him, and then no one can blow it. No one else can blow it to summon the heroes unless Matt is killed, which is the only way to unlink him from the horn. So that basically means Matt's got a target on his back. So Swan's like, well, how about I take it for safekeeping? And he's like, yeah, I guess so.
Two things. She takes it for safekeeping and just puts it on a messy table,
For
which
now.
is a surefire way to lose it again. And the second thing is, I'm almost positive this scene exists because they wrote the first episode, they shot part of the first episode, and then remembered, oh wait, the horn disappeared at the end of season 3, at the end of season 2, episode 8. We have to get it off Matt.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like yeah, I
mean, we could flat out say this is kind of what happens in the books. So,
okay, well then never mind.
Yeah.
I think
I mean, but not in this way. Like, this conversation happens.
Well, no, I mean, but the Amerlin does take the horn for safekeeping, and it's stored in the tower. That happens in the books,
right? But he's not like strutting about the town.
No, that part doesn't
with the
happen.
horn.
Yeah, in the books, it's more like, I'm taking this. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, he's kind of unconscious,
and he's sick at that point.
Yeah, he's sick and unconscious, basically, for it. So,
but like, I feel like you use the word manipulated, and really, this is like the most, I guess, gentle concern for your pride manipulation possible, because she could just be like, you're an idiot. But instead, she's like, let me explain to you, as if you would figure this out for yourself, what your situation is, and let you make the decision that you should make.
Yeah.
It's benevolent manipulation, but it's still manipulation.
It is. But it's like, it's she could have done it in a more, malevolent way, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think she thought that it called for that. I think she was like, I can easily get him to understand and give me the horn.
Yeah, I thought like the second part, or I guess post horn conversation, when she talks about her
uncle
Juan, or I believe it was
Juan.
Yeah.
Juan.
No, I don't think it's Juan. Like, I like that because, like, I don't know, it reminded me of first episode Matt, when like they're all running from the Trollocs. She's like, "Where are the girls?"
Yeah.
And like, you know what I mean? Like, that's like, for the guy who's been laid low for most of this show, to have like a, like, who are you deep down kind of moment was a nice bit of conversation.
I think it's funny that Swan thinks she can keep the horn safe after every other magical item that they have was just stolen from the tower, from the really secret room. And like, where's she going to put it?
I don't know.
The messy table.
Oh, I know where it's going. I know where it's going. In the Love Shack.
The 14th depository.
Oh, maybe. 14th. Okay. How many depositories? Days since our depository was last.
They have to cross off the 13th one. Like, all right, now it's time to go to
the 14th depository.
This is going to be the one that sticks.
Yeah.
That's it. You could literally put flowers in it, and like no one would blink twice. And that just being a vase. But
that's true. Yeah, she just puts it on her desk.
I have a note about this, and I feel like it's going to get me in trouble, but I'm going to say it anyway. Every time Min shows up in this show, I think, okay, this is going to be the episode where I find out why Min's a really big deal. And it's not. So far.
I would say, I don't know what you mean with that question. Do you mean like,
you feel like
you've
they're
heard people
setting her
talk
up?
about, like, do you mean like a big deal to the fandom or a big deal on this show?
Yes.
I would say the Min in this television show is almost completely different from the Min in the books. It's one of the biggest changes of any character.
Except that she does have this power to see things, like the visions. That's the basically
and
only
short
thing
hair,
that's the same.
And she wears pants.
Yes.
That's it, though. Those three.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Because like everything I've ever heard you guys anytime I've ever heard you guys talk about Min before the show started, you talk about her as if she is like just below the Two Rivers 5 in terms of importance.
She is in the books.
And so far and so far in the show, she is like a Swiss Army character.
Yeah, I mean,
she's kind of
like, we need someone to do something, and we don't want to have a new character and a new actor, so let's have Min do it.
Yeah. It's well, again, I think I think that they just wrote her completely differently, and they're using her like that. So you're not wrong, and this
Okay.
isn't right. That's not the main. Like I don't think she has the same personality as she does in the books. She doesn't do much of the same things, and in fact, the only time in the books that she doesn't wear pants is when she's in the White Tower.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's right. Yeah. She is very different. Like her character.
yeah.
I like her. I like her with Matt. I like this character, but yeah, it's not like there's no Min-Matt relationship in the book. It's totally different. So,
Yeah.
but I like this on the show.
I don't even know if I can remember a conversation between the two of them in the books, to be honest with you. I mean, there is a couple, but yeah, they're using her totally different. Brendan, they might get to that point where she is that person that you're expecting her to be. I don't know because of the way they've kind of changed her character. So,
Right.
So we're in the same boat as you with that, not knowing. There's that one line too when Swan's telling him the story, and Matt's like, right, it's basically the story is her uncle, he liked to gamble and whatever, drink, just like Matt. But he died like pulling children out of a burning building, and he just kept going back in until, but eventually died. And Matt says that like, he says, well, I'm no hero, I'm no hero. He says like, I just do what I have to do, or did what I have to do. And she says something like to the effect of like, that's basically what a hero is, somebody who did what they had to do. So I don't know. I feel like that's like some hope for Matt that he's going to, things are going to turn around for him, even though we thought they did already. So I don't know. I thought that was
They did a little bit. He's better off than last year. I
definitely.
think.
Well,
Last
she's got
season.
new clothes. It's already a
That's
step
true.
up.
Already a step up. He kept his
Doesn't
face.
like wearing a
Kept his
shirt.
face. Yes.
By the way, when Min first goes into the room and she's like, cover that up, I can't see that right now or something
Shirt on.
like
Yeah.
that.
That was-
Oh, I loved his little adjustment of his chest hair.
Yeah.
It's like,
I can't see that right now or something like that.
I understand the point of that scene. I understand what Matt was saying. Like, however, Matt, buddy, you are objectively a hero. That was the whole thing with the horn last year.
right. Remember?
Well, that's Matt's
Ghosts from the past came and told you.
You're a hero.
I can't believe ghosts from the past. What do they know?
The ghosts from
Right.
One of them is King Arthur.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. The most legendary heroes of all of time. And you.
Yeah.
And you. And then our final White Tower scene is Morghese leaving. We learn that Galad, Gawain, and Elaida are staying. I don't know if Swan seems too happy about that, especially with Elaida staying. We learn that Elaida was like the person basically who was competing with Swan for the Amerlin seat when she got it, and was basically like the first runner-up. So that probably doesn't bode well, because Swan's like, Andor's always had an Aes Sedai advisor. You should take her.
She should be here.
I'm trying to figure out the timing on that, because 20 years ago,
I don't think Swan's been Amerlin. I think like
right.
I think that happened. Like she came back to the tower.
She came back to try to be the Amerlin and
yeah.
left Morghese and then went back to Morghese.
No,
Yeah,
I think it's actually opposite. I think she tried to become Amerlin, and then when she didn't, she went and said, "I'm going to go advise the Queen of Andor."
But
No,
the
because
timing
20 years
didn't
ago,
work
she's
out.
the advisor of the Queen of Andor.
But maybe
And-
what I'm saying is it
and
probably
like-
was like a year difference, right? So maybe 21 years ago, she lost the bid to become Amerlin and said, "Well, I'm going to go advise the Queen of Andor." Like that's the next best thing I can do. But it was all contingent on her foretelling, which I don't know if they're going to put in this. So spoiler, I won't talk about that anymore. But
yeah.
and Morghese
I mean,
basically
yeah.
threatens Swan.
Right. Swan's a young, like a relatively young Aes Sedai.
Oh yeah, it wasn't 20 years
dreaming
ago.
of the future 20 years ago, because this is like right around the Aiel War is the secession war is over.
Yeah, it wasn't
right?
20 years ago. I'm sorry. Wrong time. What was it, like about 10 years ago maybe, or something
Yeah,
like that?
Swan's been Amerlin. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't know. They're going to put a timeline in the story about it, but yeah.
Whatever.
All right, so I'm going to move on to, what do we want to go to? Two Rivers?
Sure.
Unless you have anything else about the White Tower. That was that took up the most, I think, right? That was probably half of the episode, and then the other two.
That was I would think the A storyline in this episode.
Yeah, it was about half
all
the
that.
episode, and the other two were like about a quarter of the episode each.
Yeah.
So
You're introducing a lot of characters in that storyline.
yes, for sure. So let's go to the Two Rivers because it does end in the waste. So I think it makes sense to go to Two Rivers now, which is just a hop, skip, and a jump through a Waygate.
No big deal.
Yeah, must have been an uneventful journey through the Waygate. Loyal.
I guess,
Good.
like, as long as you don't have a channeler with you, you're good. And
Yeah.
and you have an Ogier.
Well,
That's
yeah,
probably the best way to go through.
yeah, an uneventful trip. I mean, I don't know how many trips they could show us through Waygate on the show. I think people get it already, and it's like we don't need to see that
No, yeah, I know.
unless something's going to happen that's important to the story. But we find out that there is another way to open the Waygates, and there's, like you, Jen, you mentioned in your recap, there's like a little leaf thing that I guess is like unlocks the door, or closes it, or opens it, or whatever.
I'm sorry, guys. I have to interrupt. I paused to go do something outside of the room, and my recording stopped. And
Oh, no.
Okay, just
I'm just going to start a new recording.
Yeah, that's fine.
Send-
you
Okay,
can send
fine.
me both of them. That's fine.
Yeah, all right.
Let us know when you started again.
I've started again.
Okay.
It's clap-on. It's a clapper recording.
Yes.
That's probably
Sorry.
why it shut off. You clapped and it shut it off.
Yeah.
You've got your computer hooked up to a clapper. All right. So we do, right? Perrin says Perrin uses his fantasy tracker skills to figure out that someone's been through that area very recently. A man and a woman who we learn later on is Alana and Maxim. I'm assuming, right? That's
Yeah, it
No,
makes,
yeah.
Supposed to think. I
makes a
think.
lot of sense.
yeah. I assume it's
At least, yeah.
yeah. It's
But
Alana.
what is he? He also says he smells ash.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask everyone. What is the ash?
I think it's the stuff in the face.
in the morning.
Okay.
Oh, that's
That makes
ash.
sense
It's
then.
her morning ash.
Yes. First, for the listeners to be clear, that's MOURNING, not the S that she puts on every morning on the face.
So now I'm getting stuff in chat. Like, is that? I don't even know if I want to say this. Is that the ashes of Yvonne's body that's been, what's it called? Sorry.
let's put a pin in that conversation for later. But yeah, I think it's that's the ash that he smells, is the stuff on her face. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Like, I don't think she's just in like the other thing that would be is like war paint.
I
And
thought
if
it was
she's-
like something had burned. That's why
I didn't know, but
that's
now
what I was trying to figure out. I didn't even think about that. But
people
yeah.
are saying now that Yvonne's body was, I guess, cremated, and now she's using his ash on her face as some sort of, whatever ritual, morning ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Apparently there might be something in the next episode that people are saying that might clear that
Yeah.
up. I haven't seen the third episode, people.
Right.
So shh.
Yeah, it's very rare that I say put a pin in it for chat. But I tried to.
In yourself.
I didn't know you were telling chat to put
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I didn't. I
You
wasn't
chose
clear. It wasn't for
reading
you.
it right out
I
of
wasn't
chat.
clear. Yeah.
Yeah, usually
Okay,
when you
well,
said it,
if we had to
yeah.
spoil something from episode 303, I think it's okay. Then.
Yeah, I thought you were trying to get the book spoilers, and I'm like, what book spoiler is he trying to hint at? That's why I'm
Don't you?
like,
Right.
Not a book, yeah,
all right.
that's okay. That's
Well,
all right.
I don't know if it is Yvonne's, the ashes of Yvonne's body. That's not
Podcast
really.
compromise.
It's not really a big spoiler. Like, it's not going to ruin the episode for us. So,
Right. You already know he's dead.
yes, we know he's dead, and it wouldn't be strange if it was. We learn about the steading and the longing, right? Loyal. Well, we don't really learn too much about a steading, but we learn about the longing when Loyal's away from his home, which is a steading too long, or any Ogier. It's detrimental to their health, and eventually they could die if they don't go visit their home.
At some point, I need to see another Ogier.
Well, I hope
Be
we
nice.
will.
Because right now, like, I understand intellectually that Loyal is a fantastical creature. But so far as he's the only one, he's just a big weird guy.
Yeah, there's
Right,
definitely more
right.
of them, Brendan. I hope I hope we see more.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
I feel like we need to see more to validate Loyal not just being some big weird nerd.
Yeah.
I'll say this, like, independent of anything, like, if I was watching it, if I was you in this thing, like, that kind of comment in like the relative beginning of some sort of episode is such like a lamp to put a lampshade. Like, hey, like, if I don't get back to a steady, eventually I will die. Like, they've got to go to one.
Yeah.
Like, they've got it.
Also, to pull back the curtain a little bit, that was a note I wrote for the first episode and didn't get to.
Oh, okay.
Because you're right. The mention of the steading implies that it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we'll see it, and you'll get to see some other Ogier, Brendan. I hope we do. So the Aiel seem to like this place, the Two Rivers, or the area around Two Rivers. They talk about Manetheren being like one of the greatest cities and armies in the world back in the day, but Perrin's like, nah, we're just shepherds and farmers now. And Chiad's not so convinced. She makes a comment about seeing Perrin dance the spears.
That's Bane.
Is it Bane?
I think so.
No, I think
Actually, Galad.
You sure? I wrote Bane.
I
think it's Chiad.
think it's Chiad who said it.
You sure?
I wrote Chiad. I could be wrong though.
All right. I like how she says, like, if you say it instead of if you say so.
Yeah,
Right.
I just like a little tweak, but it's good. I enjoyed
Yeah.
that.
she didn't say 100 miles an hour. So here's something that was interesting. When they actually go into the Two Rivers, like, a few people eye them, but I feel like they're eyeing Perrin, not the Ogier, who they've probably never seen before.
Well,
Or the Aiel, who they've probably never seen before.
That's right. I thought they were eyeing the Aiel.
I thought they were eyeing Perrin.
I thought everyone, like the three different.
What
Oh
do
my
you
God,
think,
this Perrin.
Brendan?
That's what they're looking for.
I think. I kind of think they were eyeing everyone, but they were eyeing Loyal and the Aiel. That is a minefield of pronunciation. They're eyeing them because they're surprised and they've never seen people like this before. They're eyeing Perrin because he killed his wife and ran away.
Right.
They don't know
There we go.
nobody knows he killed his wife, though, except for like Egwene.
Yeah.
Right? I think she's the only one who he told.
I don't know if he told everybody else. Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't think so.
either.
Nobody in the Two Rivers knows for sure.
Yeah.
Yes,
That we know of.
That's true.
Layla's ghost knows.
Yes, she's haunting them.
I'm sure CSI Two Rivers figured it out.
Yes.
I'm just thinking of that shot now in the first episode when Rand's leaning over looking at the picture and there's the guy there, and Omar cropped it out and put it in like a crime drama scene, like they're looking at a computer figuring out some sort of
We need to put them in the
piece of evidence.
medical examiner's office.
Yes. So there are white cloaks there. Surprise, surprise. We don't see Dane though specifically, right? I don't remember.
No, I
I
think
don't
so.
think so.
Yeah.
We don't see anyone we can identify by. They're well in the background.
Yeah. Mistress Alvear shows up, right? She's been recast, by the way. So that's Egwene's mom, who was recast because the other actress was otherwise engaged, couldn't do it. She's basically saying that it's not safe for Perrin. Alana's there. So this is where we learn that the woman and the man are probably Alana, who went through the Waygate. We don't know why they're there, though. She never says it. And I don't know, maybe in episode 303 we'll find out. But will we find out, Tom, in episode 303?
It kind of sounds like it.
Jen?
Maybe we will.
Oh, man. Yeah, we don't know why they're there. We know that Trollocs have been raiding the Two Rivers, and the White Cloaks have kind of been protecting the Two Rivers. But it's clear they're there for Perrin. They're claiming he's a dark friend and he killed Jeffrey Bornhold. And Perrin's like, yeah, I did kill Jeffrey Bornhold. So what?
I know that guy. I killed him.
Yeah. Yes, he deserved to die, and I hope he burns in hell.
He killed one of my best friends. It was a dog. I mean, a wolf.
One time I turned into a dog, and they helped me.
Mr. Salvier doesn't comment on his golden eyes.
No, I don't
They're
think
much
so.
less prominent in this episode than they were in the previous episode.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he doesn't get as many like close-ups, I think, too. But yeah. I don't know.
We also learned that Perrin's, Bran, Tam, and Abel have gotten Perrin's family out of town.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing we're not going to see any of those characters this season. That's what that means.
Yeah, maybe.
You don't
Yeah.
think?
I don't think so. I think that was like their way of like, well, we don't have to get these actors back to be on this season. So let's just
I want to know
write them out.
if Abel got his shit together.
Well,
Well,
he
he
helped.
helped
Like
get
he did.
Got
he helped
people
get them out of town. Yeah, I think that. Yeah.
Could have been a reluctant.
If the actor who plays Tam
Mhm.
was in it, you guys would know by now.
Probably. Yeah,
I don't know. He was in season 2 and we didn't know.
Oh, okay. No, never
Like
mind.
one episode.
Yeah, he was
That's
in
true.
the
He's in, like,
accepted
one-
test.
Yeah,
One
who's
scene,
in the
yeah.
test.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
I
don't
have
know.
a feeling that they're not going to be in this season. They kind of wrote them. They wrote them out.
All right, we'll see.
And Perrin's like, well, if the White Cloaks, want me because I did kill Bornhold, I'll just turn myself in.
You know.
And I'm going to ask this question, but Jen and Tom might know the answer to this, right? Like Alana and Maxim encountered Trollocs and she injured her shoulder, but it seems kind of weird because I don't know, they make it like almost like that's not the whole truth. But I guess maybe we'll have to wait for episode 3 to
I have a question because when I first watched it, I thought Maxim said like a few less out there in the woods, like they killed some of them.
Yeah.
But on the closed captions, it said a few left out there in the woods.
Closed captions are
They're
wrong.
wrong, right?
Yeah.
It said he said
Yes.
few
Yeah.
less in the woods right now. And then the
Yeah.
caption
Yeah.
said few left in the woods right now, few out there in the
Yeah.
woods right now or
Yeah, it's
something.
probably
I was
wrong.
like,
Closed captions
that's
are
what
wrong.
he
was, yeah,
said.
yeah. I will
He
say
said a
that
few less, right?
Yes.
LES.
there's in every episode that I have seen of this season, there has at least been one error in the closed captions.
Okay.
I feel like that's true of closed captioning in every show.
Yeah, that's not
There's at least
specific to
one.
this. Yeah.
I thought that he said less. It's a better line. So I'm glad that you guys
It is less. Yeah, I think it is less. Yeah, he's implying that they killed a bunch of Trollocs.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I felt like the way
Yeah,
they
there's-
said that and the way it was shot was like, yeah, that's not the whole truth.
There's a
Yeah.
there's a little, yeah, it's odd. This whole thing to me is
Well, I want to know
odd
why
and
she's
inten-
there.
right, in an intentional way. Like, why would they go there? What reason?
I know why in the books she's there, but I don't think it's the same reason.
No, that would
I
be
don't
very
think so either.
odd.
Yeah. Brendan, any thoughts from your perspective on why Alana and Maxim are in the Two Rivers?
No.
Okay. It's just the way they wrote it.
I mean, not that I'm sure there's a reason. I am not interested in trying to figure out what the reason is before the
Okay.
show is ready to tell me.
No, I just wondered if maybe you had a thought, so that's fine. I'm
No.
like you. I just like, well, let's see what the show tells me. Unless I have some sort of weird theory, but I don't. Any more Two Rivers before we go over to on a journey to the Aiel Waste?
No.
All right.
This is not how I expected the Two Rivers, which I was joking about from the very second Jeffrey Bornhold was killed. About how like the season 3 was going to be about the White Cloaks and Two Rivers trying to find Perrin. This is not at all how I expected it to be. I figured in the style of fantasy TV and cinema from time immemorial, there would be 3 full episodes of Perrin and Loyal and Bane and Sheab just walking.
Oh,
And then,
they
like,
just
they
go
would-
there.
And like they would get there either right before or right after the White Cloaks showed up.
Hmm.
And they would be screwed. And instead, that's not at all what happened. So
No,
Yeah.
it's,
So that was an interesting surprise.
well, they don't have Waygates in all those other shows and movies. That's why.
Well, the other thing I think is interesting is we've been joking since season 2 about the scouring of the two rivers.
Yeah.
Right. And I would say in a similar way, I expected like, oh, the White Cloaks are here, for the White Cloaks to be like it was the White Cloaks town now. You know what I mean? Like they they seem to just be around.
Like Atuan's Mill in the second season, where they're kind of like
Right.
basically running the town when they go back.
Yeah. I feel like that it seems to be the White Cloaks' MO that they come in and get rid of something that is technically worse than them.
Yeah.
Right.
And then either outright or indirectly take over.
Mm-hmm.
And they're pretty bad, but they're not as bad as the Trollocs or the Seanchan.
Right.
Brendan, are you excited? Do you think there's going to be Seanchan in this season? I mean, we have Rena in the dreams, but like actual real life Seanchan in there.
Boy, I hope so.
Okay, we'll put a pin in that one too.
I'd
right.
like to see some people I don't care about get killed this season.
Yeah, well, maybe you'll fall in love with the Seanchan, Brendan.
That sounded like a prophecy, Joe.
To the Aiel Waste we go.
Yeah.
The journey
really.
to the Aiel
To the
Waste.
to the
That's what I'm
mountains
saying.
we go.
To the Aiel Waste we go. That's where they're going. They're going to the Aiel
Okay.
Waste. We're going to the Aiel Waste too with them.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say we're there yet.
Okay.
That's at the end.
Fair enough.
Avienda makes a joke that, they're all slow travelers. Like she's like, oh, the Aiel could be there, whatever, by sunset, but we're gonna make camp here.
I don't think that's a joke. I think
It's just an
Avienda's just
insult.
mad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's a pointed insult. Yes.
Okay. I took it as a joke, but you're right. It was more of an insult. I thought it was funny, I guess.
Yeah.
It is funny, but
Yeah.
she's not kidding.
Yes.
I don't think she
doesn't
particularly likes
intend
any
it.
of those people.
Yeah, she does not intend it as a joke. We take it as one. Rand and Land practicing swords. Jen, you were right. Huzzah! Finally, Rand learns to use the sword. I mean, we did get some of that with the crazy Blade Master Errol from the second season.
Yeah.
So apparently, Rand did practice a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about the bruises on Egwene's neck, right? Moraine points out that she'd healed them, but they seem to be back, and she thinks that maybe Rand is hurting her. But I guess this is from her dreams with Rena that she's having on a regular basis.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the fact that she's actually getting bruises from those dreams means they're not just regular dreams.
Right.
Right?
I think we
That's pretty clear by
know
the
that.
end.
Yeah.
By the end, it's
Right.
clear.
Yeah.
But I'm
yeah.
just saying, like, this is a clue that, wait a second, this isn't just like a regular nightmare that Egwene's having about Rena.
Sure.
And this was also another scene that they had released like a few days ago, right? This one?
Yeah.
Oh, no, this was the other CCXP scene they showed.
Yes, but they have released this early. This scene was released early as well. Yeah.
Maureen talks about Rand channeling, that the quicker he channels, or the more he channels, the quicker he'll become mad or insane. Avienda makes a comment about swords and shares her thoughts on swords. And we get a little
What
bit
was
of...
the animal?
Go ahead.
What was the animal that Avienda killed? Was it just a very large rabbit?
I think
it
was a
so.
rabbit.
It was like a
Yeah.
jackalope.
Okay.
Yeah.
A hare?
A jackalope.
It was a really big rabbit.
Well, the hares are
I
the
guess-
big ones, right? Aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, I've
I-
seen giant rabbits before.
No.
Friend of
I'm sure
mine
she's
used to have.
like, well, there's 5 of us. I gotta get a big one,
Yeah.
or catch 2.
She starts spouting some Aiel prophecies about the Karakarn shall break and spill the blood of the Aiel. Remnant of a remnant shall be saved. Creation, destruction, balance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I guess it's a sign of how like hard badass the Aiel are. Like their prophecy is like, oh, our prophesied savior, yeah, he's gonna kill everybody, but just a little bit's gonna remain, and that's what you get. Like, and they're like, yeah, let's go find him.
Well, it doesn't say he's going to personally murder them all.
It's going to spill their blood, right? Is that what it says?
Yeah, break and spill their blood. Well, I think maybe indirectly, but whatever. Some of them are going to live.
How much do you think a remnant of a remnant is? It's like
5%?
6
Aiel.
6%? Oh, 6 Aiel. I thought
just 6 Aiel.
How many people disappeared in the leftovers? That's
is it 5%?
It's I don't.
I think it was
really
higher than that. I was like 10%. I feel like, or it was a pretty large percentage.
I remember.
Yeah,
2%. 2%. That's
it was only 2%.
2% of people were left or disappeared.
No, 2% disappeared.
Oh, okay. I thought it was more than that one.
But I'm flipping it. I'm saying 2% would be left.
They're the remnant of a remnant. They're the leftovers.
I'm going to go with. How many people does the architect say that Neo gets to choose to repopulate humanity?
That's 100, isn't it?
In the Matrix. So I think it's like 16.
Yeah, it's like 20
men, 8 women, or
no,
32,
it's like
16.
It's like 5 men and 15 women or something like that. It's
whatever it is. Yeah,
it's like a 2 or 3 to 1 ratio of women to men.
So that's I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with the architect's numbers as the remnant of a remnant.
Okay.
Well, that sucks.
It's a little bit rapture-y.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they are talking about the last battle and fighting the Dark One, so I think this is very rapture-y. I think you're on point with that, Brendan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Egwene's nightmares.
Egwene's nightmares.
We get into one of those nightmares, and hey, it's not really Rena. Somebody else.
Hey.
I got nothing. So You're right, Jen.
When Rand woke up and she was like laying on him, at first I thought they had just had sex. And they were like getting out of bed. But I don't think they did.
Wait, who?
In his dream. Lanfear, when Rand wakes up, like in wherever they are, I guess they're in Teleron-Riyadh. And then Lanfear's laying on him, and then she gets up and goes by the window. I thought they had like just finished having sex the first time I saw it. I was like, are you kidding me right now? But I don't think they did, because then she tries to get him to do it later, and he says no.
But then he also tries to kiss her, and she
that's later.
And she is clearly like, physically tempting and emotionally manipulating him. Like, I don't think he's necessarily making clear-headed choices in those dreams either. Like,
yeah, but I don't know. The whole situation makes me angry. I know it's not really all his fault, because he doesn't know that she's doing that. But I thought when she said she was visiting him in his dreams in the first episode, I just assumed they were like having sex every night in his dreams.
Oh. No, I think it's.
I was like,
more,
are you like?
I thought it was more conversations. That's what
I understand.
Yes,
I understand it making you angry, and I agree. It sucks. Like it's a shitty situation. I remain baffled by in your perception of this story. Rand is a quasi villain.
Well, if you're Egwene, he doesn't know it, but when you're watching it from the outside, he's like, if he would have, well, no, Lanfear stopped him. She's manipulating him. Like, he went to kiss Lanfear.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, she's at the exact same time. I don't know how they're doing that.
I don't think it's the exact same time. I think it's just cleverly
Egwene and torturing her consistently.
Are we going to get hung up on the logistics of the dream monsters again?
No, I don't think
seasons into this.
You know, it's funny because there's a whole thing in the first book about something like this happening. And is it happening at the same time? And is that person in 3 different dreams at the same time? I don't think this is happening at the same. I think it's happening the same night, but I don't think it's happening at the exact same time. I think it was edited that way because it looks really cool the way they edited it that way.
Yeah, I think that this scene reminded you that Lanfear is a villain.
Yes,
like
she's
she's bad
with one side of her mouth and the other side of her mouth. She's too. Yes, exactly. I think it was edited this way just to make a point. Again, it looks really fucking cool. I love this scene, the way they did that. But yes, we kind of glossed over it. But Lanfear is Rena. She's been haunting Egwene's dreams as Rena and choking her and traumatizing her.
She's like spitting blood into her mouth. Like, what was that part?
I don't know.
It was disgusting. I don't know. Yeah.
Did you notice how in the dream Lanfear's hair was very similar to Egwene's hair? Like,
like curly,
short and wavy hair. It reminded me of Dana when Dana did braid.
Yeah.
Everyone tries to copy Egwene's hair. They're all the evil people.
They know what he likes.
She's like the Jennifer Aniston of Egwene.
That's her Ta'Veren power, is to influence hairstyles.
Yes.
Did she call her a doe-eyed cow?
Yeah, she did.
I love that.
Oh my god, that was that was really cool.
It's just awful for Egwene.
Yeah, and it seems like it's not going to stop because of the again, like this season on the Wheel of Time at the end of episode 1, it seems like there's going to be a lot of Lanfear being not so nice to Egwene. So
yeah, but she got out of it, or she. I don't know how she got out of it, but she ended up in a different place.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is like.
So now maybe
there's other things that are going to happen.
Oh no, definitely other things are going to happen with Lanfear, but yeah.
Right. So in the dream, right, Egwene all of a sudden like winds up out in which, whatever the Aiel Waste, it looks like the Aiel Waste or what the Aiel Waste is going to be. And there's what looks like an older maiden of the spear she encounters. And she's like, well, you're not supposed to be here. And then we see that same woman at the end of the episode.
Yeah, and I just want to. Egwene doesn't like. I don't know. It's not like the dream changes. She does the same stuff that the Forsaken do when they leave. Like she dusts out.
Yeah, I think she gets herself out of that situation.
Yeah, somehow, but yeah, I was saying it looks like it's a very willful, even if unintentional, like thing that happens to her.
Yeah. Just before the that last scene, the very last scene of the episode, right? There's a quick scene between Moiraine and Rand. She's like, "Why are you training with Lan? Like, you should be, practicing channeling." Even though, like 5 minutes ago, she said, "The more he channels, the more he's going to go mad." And then they have a conversation where Rand's like, "It feels so good to hold the one power. You don't understand." And Moraine's like, "Well, I kind of do, but." And then Rand's like, "Well, yeah, but the taint." And she's like, "Okay, well, I don't understand that part. You got me there."
But then she's like, "But you got to do it anyway. And you've got to understand there's a difference." Like, yes. I'm like, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, in this scene, we learned that at the same fancy Old Navy where Rand bought his pajamas, Moiraine bought a hat.
Yes.
You don't just get Aes Sedai agelessness, okay?
Yeah.
I like
saying it. Someone's saying she shouldn't have been wearing a hat.
This skin.
I like
protection.
I like to believe that this was a product of the filming where like they were filming scenes and Rosamund was like, "Oh my God, it's too sunny out here. Somebody get me a hat." And that's the only hat they had around. So they were just like, "All right, I guess Maureen's going to be wearing this hat."
I don't think so, Joe. I really don't think that's how you costume.
That's what I like. That's what I choose to believe happened. It's such an odd.
It could also be like, "Oh, well, we're leaving right now. It's sunny out there, right?" And she just gets the biggest hat she can find in Tarvalon before she leaves.
Funny.
She spoke to her friend Moira Rose and got a hat from her.
So you think Yosha just didn't get a chance to put on the shirt he was supposed to be wearing in that scene? So they were just like, just shoot it in his t-shirt. It's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
That's how they run.
No, I'm not talking about Yosha's shirt. I'm talking about Moraine's hat.
Somebody's just wearing the hat like on the crew, and they just give it to her.
Yeah, I need a hat.
Sure, that works.
It was either that or a baseball cap, and they were like, "Well, that's just ridiculous. So let's give her this hat." Yeah. And then Avienda's all upset.
Sorry, Amisha said that hat is the show's tribute to Quigley Down Under.
Oh wow, I never saw that one.
That is a reference and a half. All right, sorry. Please continue, Joe.
No, I was going to say, then like all of a sudden Avienda's all in a tizzy and asking like who told somebody that they were coming. Everyone's like disappearing on me. I feel like I'm playing whack-a-mole.
We're here.
It's like one goes off, one comes on, another one goes off. Yeah, like this was odd to me because Avienda just assumes that there couldn't be Aiel around here or tracking us unless somebody told them. I don't know. It was just weird.
Like waiting for them there. They didn't track them. They're coming from the opposite direction.
Well, I mean, yeah, but they were able to figure out where they were coming from or where they were headed or whatnot. And lo and behold, it's the woman from Egwene's dream, although she's dressed differently. And a bunch of other Aiel warriors. And then she starts spouting some more, I guess, prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote it down here. He will come from the west across the spine of the world. We learned that the mountains that they were traveling through the spine of the world before that. Of the blood, but not raised by the blood, he will tie us together with bonds we cannot break. He will take us back home, and he will destroy us. His prophecies are pretty big downers here.
I mean, they're going home. That's nice.
Yeah,
but their
home is literally called the Wastes.
Yeah, they're already home though. So yeah.
I don't think. Well, whatever.
And that's how the show ends, or the episode ends.
Yes, it does. No hot clothes.
No.
For this one.
No, I don't think we're going to get many of those. At the end of the season, we'll probably get one more hot close, I think.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Shall we go? Any other thoughts before we go to our ratings?
No.
Not
for now.
All right. Anyone want to go first?
Well, I went first last time.
All right. I guess
so I'm not going first this time.
The question is, did you like this episode as much, more, or less than the last episode? I really liked this episode. I thought it was put together really well. Like it was written really, really well, edited really well. Again, the pacing was good. I really didn't have any issues with anything that happened in it. Any big issues, but I'm having a really hard time debating whether I thought it was better or not than the first episode.
I'll go first. I think I liked it a little less than the first episode. So I'm gonna give it a 4.
All right.
I still really liked it, but a little less.
I think I'm going to give it a 4.5. I think I'm going to keep it as the same as the last episode. It's pretty close to it.
I'm also going to give it a 4. I feel like the episode is good, but I feel like the episode clearly like shifts down 2 gears and says, "Okay, here's what's gonna be happening this season, and let's introduce the storylines." Right. And so like it does that well. It establishes a few new characters well, but I also feel like it's just I don't know, it's just less of a production, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. There weren't like any big set pieces like the first episode.
I mean, there was Morgase's outfit when she showed up the White Tower, which somehow we didn't mention, but like
we had talked about it when they released those first photos.
Yeah. Like I maybe should give it another quarter star just for that, but I'm gonna leave it at the 4.
All right, Brendan.
I'm gonna give it a 3.
Okay.
This is last week when I was talking about how the trailer was not showing a show that's like what the show is.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the show is like.
Okay.
This is like a replacement level episode of Wheel of Time. It's like a standard. It's not great. It's not terrible. At least one weird thing happens with Lyanna and not Lyanna and not Baron being in the background and no one knowing why and no one being sure who they are or if it's really them.
I don't think that's supposed to be a big thing.
It's not. None of them ever supposed to be a big thing, but there's always like one thing. So yeah, it was. I thought it was fine. It's a 3. It's not.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a bad grade.
Yeah, it's just. But that's what I was thinking for most of the episode. Like, I couldn't adequately explain what the show is like when I was talking about how the trailer wasn't accurate. This is what the show's like. And that's fine.
All right.
I'm watching Kate put the clip.
Yeah, I'm watching it too.
in the chat.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I like it. I feel like I like it as much as the first episode, but just for different reasons. And I like that it's a building episode and that it doesn't necessarily have any big set pieces or action in it, because not every episode can do that. But I do like the way it did a good job of putting all those pieces in place without making it boring or slow or dragging. So I think it did a good job of that. And I did like all of the new, the Elaine's family coming in. I thought that was all really interesting and fun. So, all right, Brendan, thank you for joining us.
All right, guys.
Yeah, man.
Have a
See you
good day,
tomorrow.
and we will talk to you next episode.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, here we go. And we are back to talk spoilers.
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 Full book spoilers.
Full book.
By the way, I mean, I edited I was editing yesterday's episode, so it sounds like we did full book spoilers, so no one's going to be tricked.
Okay, good.
Anyway, I did not mark one spoiler thing down here, except one, which is the whole Gabriel thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So Leane, when he first comes in, Leane doesn't remember his name.
Doesn't seem to know who he is.
Yes.
And then it's like, oh, Lord Gabriel, sorry.
And then even Elaine, when there's the scene with Elaine and Gabriel, like when she first walks in, she's kind of looks confused for a second as to who this person is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Swan is like overjoyed.
Yeah.
She's Gabriel, such a pleasure as always. You know, the biggest smile on her face. Like,
yeah.
Oh boy.
It's interesting because how is he doing this? Does he just have like weaves of compulsion that come out from him and compel every single person he comes into contact with
24 hours a day?
And 24 hours a day. And what about people who are like he doesn't come in contact with, and somebody mentions the Lord Gabriel to them in the Prince Consort? Like, aren't they like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but I guess that could be part of why the people at Andor are rebelling against the Queen.
Well, I have no doubt that that's part of it, right? He's manipulating.
Right, like, he
it's going to
doesn't-
be like the books.
Yeah, but like he doesn't care, right? I think that's the answer. He doesn't care about.
No,
that
I'm not
side
saying
part.
that he cares. I'm saying like, how is this how does nobody realize it?
It doesn't make a difference if like people outside of like his immediate sphere realize it or not. As long as the people within his sphere don't realize it, that's all that matters. Like he doesn't like he meets them, they immediately remember that he was around. So like if like some peasants are like, I don't know any Lord Gabriel, and then everyone will just be like, well, then you're an idiot because he's been around.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? Like anyone who matters gets tricked.
I have a theory that it's some sort of like powerful Tirangriel that he's using.
Oh, could be.
I like that theory. I like that idea. I would accept that more than he's just
got that little,
constantly
like-
weaving weaves of compulsion 24/7.
Right? Like the walking stick thing.
Oh
Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
he does.
And an ear thing too. So either one of those things.
Yeah. Which all the Forsaken seem to have weird ear things.
Tirangriel.
He has an
Tirangriel.
He has an ear angriel.
well done.
Angriel. I love it. Yeah. That was my only big spoiler note here.
Do you think that Maxim and Yvonne fought Trollocs in the ways?
Maxim and Yvonne. Yvonne's dead.
well,
Maxim and Alana. Why can't anybody get Alana's name right? Or we're like
Yeah.
screwing up names. Maxim and Alana. fought Trollocs in the ways.
Oh, I have no idea. They could have, I guess, right? They could have fought other things in there too.
Something's going on.
Yeah, there's definitely something. And like, again, so obviously in the books, they're there just on a recruiting mission to find novices.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
and
randomly.
And Varen's not there. Varen's clearly back at the tower because she has, does a conversation with her later.
Yeah. And Varen's like also there to like get information on the Ta'veren and whatnot. But like, that's not like she just is there. It's only been a day. Like,
yeah.
So why did they go? I don't know. I think it's interesting.
And how did they get there before? I mean, she had to have left like right after the attack on the tower to get there before Perrin and Loyal.
Right. Even if she's also using the ways. I mean, if she like whatever, they leave the day after. So I guess, if she leaves the same day, she can get there earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
There was something. There was one other thing too. The one of the two lines that Galad does say, he makes a comment about not trusting Aes Sedai.
Yes.
About what?
Not trusting Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
Kind of a little hint towards his turn to a white cloak, I think.
Also, when he's fighting in his glory, he's just in white pants, which I thought was a nice.
Oh yes.
Touch.
Well, it was before Labor Day, so
it's true. So Min's visions of like, do you think that we're gonna see the Tower Coup in the season? Like that it's gonna be a bloody fight? We had talked about that before the show came out and said like the chances of them doing 2 bloody fights in the White Tower in one season seemed small, but like they seem to be teasing that pretty heavy here.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about going back to those old leaked photos of the White Tower set with like the bloody soldiers to try to see if I could tell anything, but I didn't really see anything differently that would lead me to believe like this is definitely a different event.
It's tough too because like that was like photos taken in natural light and like it could have been like the same thing just desaturated for the TV show. Well,
I was just looking at the costuming and they look like they're wearing like typical warder outfits. You know, the brown kind of padded vests or jerkins and even the swords, like they don't look like the Tower Guards. And I mean, most of the White Tower set looks the same, right? It's the same columns that they're in a hallway and whatnot. So it's hard to tell, but I guess, I think the coup is going to be a little bit more violent like it is in the books. Will we see it? I don't know if that means we're going to see it. It could be just one of those cutaway things or we learn about it after the fact.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like weird to do that again, like a whole big fight again.
But it's not Aes Sedai fighting in the books. The Aes Sedai aren't fighting. It's all the warders are fighting.
Aes Sedai die. Mincy's dead Aes Sedai and dead warders all over when she comes
No, I know, but I don't think the Aes Sedai are fighting each other with the one power.
Well, they can't do that.
Yeah. I think it's the warders that start the fighting and then Aes Sedai wind up dying in the
because you can use the power to defend your water.
Fray. Yeah. So I guess maybe there's a little bit. I don't remember specifically. Again, because it doesn't happen we don't see it on page.
Or is she seeing like the Shanshan attacking the White Tower?
That's really far away, but
she said it could be 10 years from now.
That's true.
But I don't know how long it is. It could be
right.
So now that's just going to make Swan like more paranoid.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll make her like do something else stupid that gets her like to lose support. I don't know.
You mean like when the queen of the most powerful kingdom and most powerful ally says, don't do anything for my daughter other than protect her, or I will come back here with my armies. And she's like, what if I sent her to hunt the Black Eye? Would that be
In a
cool?
really,
Because I already
dangerous city.
I did that. I already told her, just her, and one other person who doesn't really. She's very powerful. She can't channel. That's cool, right? So, yeah,
I think she's more concerned about Elida staying there than Morghese sending armies back towards to Tarvalon. So this should be interesting. I'm really excited for the Elida stuff.
Yeah, Elida could just be like, "Hey, Elaine's gone again."
That's true.
She did it again. Like literally, the minute you walk through the threshold, Elaine was gone again.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
So,
I mean,
well, it doesn't sound like they're. At least at the end of this episode, there's no discussion about going to Tenchico. It sounds like
there's no reason to go.
Yeah, there's no reason to go. They're gonna. I think Swan's initial intention of doing this is like they're gonna stay in the White Tower and try to hunt Black Aja in the White Tower. Like I'm not sending them out. So
yeah.
So I think.
Well, then why did she say someone has to find Leandrin?
No, that's what Nynaeve says.
Right. I think like she's saying there are Black Aja here. No one knows how deep the roots are. The only two people I am certain are not black are the two of you. Right? Like she even includes like even Varen and Lyanna are not like above her suspicion.
Yeah. But it's Nynaeve when Nynaeve and Elaine are having that conversation out in the hall, Nynaeve's the one who mentions Leandrin and like stopping Leandrin. Like, but I don't think Swan's intention is not to send them after Leandrin. At least not at this time. It's to stay in the tower and find the Black Aja that they don't know, haven't identified yet.
Yeah, I think you're right in that. I think like she's looking for bloodhounds in the tower. Right?
Yeah, and they're supposed to meet up with Varen and get, just like the books, they're supposed to go meet with Varen and get all the information about the sisters who left the tower the next day after Elaine gets her accepted test. So I imagine we'll see that scene next episode. Again, we're not even going to discuss it because the both of you have already seen that episode. So
yeah,
we'll just pass
I will say this. I think that the show is doing a good job of starting to make the audience like kind of suspect everybody. Like, yeah, you know, like the show's like maybe Lyanna's acting odd, you know, Swan's acting odd. Like, would an Aes Sedai murder somebody with a stick? Like, you know, there's right. There's. I appreciate like that they're leaning into like a little bit of paranoia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So how about we wrap this up here so I can go watch the third episode?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I want to remind everyone to follow us on social media. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. Join us over in Discord to continue the conversation there. We also post our episodes on YouTube, so be sure to go to our YouTube page to like and subscribe. Rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts, and check out our merchandise and Patreon pages to support us that way. Links to all the aforementioned information are included in the show notes to this episode. Final words, Jen and Tom?
Let's do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's right. Let's invite everybody.
303.
Good idea. Where should we do it?
Next up.
Where?
It doesn't matter. By the time this episode drops, it'll have happened already. So
okay, fine. Sorry.
They'll all figure it out.
Okay.
Thanks everyone for listening, and you'll hear us next time.